You know, you could be out bowling with your kids, and that's pretty much what I was doing while Web Scraper Plus was gathering all these links from me. I just set it and told it what I wanted to look for, and I told it I wanted to look for anything that had seek in the link. I wanted all the reply links where the link had the word seek in it, because it's just where a lot of the personal ads are. Men seek men, men seek woman, woman seek man, woman seek woman. That accounts for 4 sections of the personals, okay? And so anyway, it took about 4 hours for me to get this data. It wasn't even quite 4 hours, like 3 hours and 50 minutes or something, for me to get 33,255 reply links. And then to turn around and actually physically reply to them with web macros might take like, 3 to 4 hours, something like that. So I just walk into this room where my computer is, hit a couple of buttons to get it going, and then I walk out. And I walk back in about 4 hours and check. When it's done, then I turn around and run the web macros for it. Now, how's that work? Well, let's just take a look at it. Let me close out and go over to the web macros. Okay, this isn't going to be a tutorial, but it's going to give you a clue. Here's a web page, right? There's the address for the web page. This is a recorder area that records steps, literally. That is literally a record button, okay? Then there's a stop button over here and a play button. You'll see how this works. Anyway, if I wanted to record myself a project, then how would I go about it? Well, first of all, I'd hit the record button, okay? And I'm going to kind of give you a clue what web macros does. So I'm going to go to Backpage.com. Alright, now I'm on the front page of Backpage.com, and guess what? It says step 1 is go to Backpage.com. That's literally step 1. Now if I just click on a section, I don't care, let's click on, whatever, Athens, Atlanta, Georgia. Let me just click on one. Did you see what it said? It said click, and if you know anything about HTML coding, the A means a link, right? The semicolon says, okay, what link? And in quotes, Atlanta, comma, Georgia. It's clicking on the link that said Atlanta, comma, Georgia. So it literally clicks that link. So far we have go to Backpage and then click on the link. All right, then let's say I want to go into a particular section. Let's say I want to go into the Job Wanted Resume section. Sure enough, click the link that says Job Wanted Resume. Now I'm on that section. Now let's say I want to click on the very first thing I see that's just a regular ad up in here, and I'll say something like click good job opportunity, and there it is. Okay, and then here it is. Now if I want to reply, I could reply, but this is a particular email address rather than a reply that says click here. So in web macros I would build in the next step, and the next step would say if, okay, if source contains that, and it's going to be click here, then begin, and it's going to do a series of steps, which is basically going to say click the link, fill out the forms, submit it, and then when it's done, it's going to be, so it's going to be like steps 2, 3, 4, and then the last step's going to be end, saying end that procedure. So it says if, then begin, then it'll do everything until it hits end. That way, if this is not true, it will just skip to end. Do you get it? So I can build conditionals into web macros to say, if this exists, do this. If it doesn't exist, skip this. And guess what else I can do with web macros? I can tell it to reset my IP address, and I can tell it how often. Okay? I can have it go through a loop and then have it reset my IP address every so often. So anyway, let me just kind of go ahead and clear some of this out. Alright, and this I'm not going to use right now, so I'm just going to delete it. If I wanted to flip some of these around, because I got them out of order, that's what the arrows are for. You know, it flips literally what's going on with the links. Okay, there we go. So it's highly controllable. Now let's say what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back, alright? And it even records going back, things like that, if you want it to. Let's try another one. Let's just go here. Good. And in this case, I'm just going to delete this one. And I'm going to delete this hole I left myself. Okay, now I've got, click on the first link, and I'm going to click on the reply here. Okay, and I don't need this space, so I'll delete the space. And then when I'm done with a click here, now here I got to enter, enter, enter in order to submit. How hard is that? Not hard at all. Watch this. I'm going to put in view, my information, and I'm going to give myself some BS stuff. I'm going to give myself a name. I'm going to give myself a last name. I'm going to give myself an email address. Okay? I'm not condoning lying. I'm just saying that Backpage doesn't know one thing from the other, and if my message tells them where to go, then my email address doesn't have to be straight. Okay, now those are 3 required fields, so you'll put in something for a first name, something for a last name, and something for an email. Okay, and then down here in the comments, I'll put in whatever comments I want. This just means 2 spaces, so don't worry about it. Whenever you type, just put in your spaces. As a matter of fact, I'll just do it. Here we go. I might say, hi, comma, enter, enter. Nice stuff you have there. You have there, exclamation point. And one note is Backpage, this doesn't allow a very long message. So if you try to copy paste a message in here or autofill a message and it doesn't fill, it just doesn't do anything, then that's why. The message is too long, you got to shorten it up. I might put, you might just be interested in this, and it'll be whatever my link is, okay? Alright, then I'll say something like best regards. And then, well, Bill T, I guess. Bill T. So I'm going to update this. Now I have my comments field and I have my email field. That is like the email and the comments, the message. So I update this. Tells me the update's successful. So guess what I get to do here. Now here's where I get to do this. I'm still recording, right? I got enter, input from, and I just happen to put in testing Bill. Well, I'm going to change this to the catch-all system use for that view my information stuff. Guess what? Now it says enter into the input field, the input field called from. That's what this one is. This is going to be from verify, or verify from, I forget which. And it's going to say this pound email. Guess what that is? That's the email from here, from my information, that email. Okay? So then what do you think this is going to be? Well, again, if I just put something in there, enter, input, yeah, there it is, from verify. And guess what? Whoops, let me just stop the recorder for a minute so it quits understanding everything I'm doing, and that way I don't have to click everything off all that time. Again, it's got to be the same one, right? Fine. Now I'm going to click into the next box. Whoops, I better start my recorder back up. And I'll click and then click enter text area message. Guess what this gets to be? Well, pound comments. Do you get it? That's the comments from here. Okay, and literally the comments field. So cancel that. By the way, you know, any one of these lines can be extremely long depending on what you're doing. I mean, there's a whole lot more you can do than just put in this one-by-one clicking. All right, but the reality check is that's how that can work. Now, if I want to submit the reply, then I can do that. Now, before I submit the reply, let me clean this thing up. You know, it's kind of blank, right? So let me just drop this. All right, first let me stop. Okay, let me drop this. Let me drop that. Let me drop that. Now watch. I'm going to step through. I'm going to use this step function. So I'm going to start somewhere. I'm going to start right here. I want it to step through this step first, step 7. So I hit step. And guess what it did? It entered it. You see it? Now I'm going to step through the next step, and it repeated. Then I'm going to step through the next step, and it got the comments in there. So now I'm going to record again so I can capture myself actually submitting the reply. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. All right, and one quick note. When this thing is gearing up, it starts off slow because it builds the cache for all the page formats when it goes through the first couple of times. Once it gets the cache built, it just speeds right up. This thing will go about as fast as your computer will let it go, and it will go through about 1 every 2 seconds, literally end to end. So where am I at? If I just stop this right now, let's say I wanted to just see where I was at. Let's say I start all over again. Okay, let me just go somewhere.